They say competition brings out the best in people, that the market rewards hard work, innovation, and good ideas. But if that's true, why does Plankton never win? Every day he wakes up with the same goal to make his restaurant succeed, to finally get one customer, and every day he fails. On paper, it seems simple. 2 restaurants, 2 owners, whoever serves better food should win. But in reality, that's not what happens in Bikini Bottom. The game is rigged, and the Krusty Krab already controls the town. But how? By the end of this video, you'll be truly shocked. In Plankton, we are introduced to the Chum Bucket, a tiny restaurant across the street from the Krusty Krab. Plankton is obsessed with one goal, the Krabby Patty secret formula. The episode shows us how his repeated failures are not because he is lazy or incapable. He is inventive, clever, and willing to think outside the box. But the moment he tries to take any legitimate step toward success, the system of Bikini Bottom closes in on him. He jumps into SpongeBob's brain in a desperate attempt to taste the Krabby Patty, hoping to reverse engineer it. It is a crazy and slightly absurd move, but it makes perfect sense for someone who is constantly blocked by forces beyond their control. SpongeBob, programmed with loyalty to Mr. Krabs, resists Plankton's desperate invasion. Plankton tries to use ingenuity and cunning, but even intelligence and strategy cannot overcome the structural advantage that Mr. Krabs holds in this world. The Krusty Krab already dominates the market, and everyone in town is conditioned to believe it is the only place worth visiting. Plankton's unethical actions are a direct result of being consistently shut out. He's forced to break the rules just to have a shot at success. The way the episode frames Plankton is brilliant. On the surface, he is the villain. He is sneaky, manipulative, and sometimes downright evil. But the story also makes it clear that the system itself is what pushes him into these extreme actions. Mr. Krabs doesn't innovate much. He doesn't improve the product beyond what works. He doesn't try to be better or earn customers fairly. He dominates simply because he is already on top, and the system is built to protect that position. Here's the important part. Plankton is acting unethically. There's no excuse for tricking SpongeBob or scheming for the formula. But what pushes him into these schemes? The system. When one business controls everything, trying to survive means breaking rules. It's not that Plankton is a poor victim. It's that the way the market is set up almost forces him into these actions. Plankton's evil isn't random. It's strategic. Every day he fails, every idea is blocked, and every customer avoids the Chum Bucket. He sees no fair way to succeed, so he cheats, manipulates, and tries to steal the secret formula. His desire to succeed is normal, but the method he chooses is unethical. That's what makes this satire brilliant. Now let's jump to Plankton's army. Years later, Plankton is still struggling. The Chum Bucket has not grown. Every attempt he makes is crushed. The Krusty Krab remains dominant, and Plankton has a new idea. If he can't win by himself, maybe he can win with numbers. He recruits his microscopic family into an army. Hundreds of Planktons march together, shouting slogans, trying to take the Krabby Patty formula by force. At first, it's funny. Tiny Planktons marching across town like an army of ants. But the humor hides a serious point. The system never allows small players to succeed, so rebellion becomes inevitable. Plankton's army isn't heroic, it's desperate. They act unethically, trying to steal because the system has blocked every fair option. But even with numbers, the army fails. Mr. Krabs outsmarts them. The Krabby Patty formula remains secure. Plankton and his family are humiliated, and the Krusty Krab sits untouched, needing no effort to crush its tiny competitor. The rules of the game are written to protect the one in power. Think about the Krabby Patty formula itself. It isn't just a secret recipe. It's the key to controlling the market. Whoever holds it controls the customers. Plankton wants it not because he's evil, but because owning it is the only way to compete. And yet, trying to take it is illegal and unethical. This creates the moral tension. Plankton is doing something wrong, but the system forces him toward it. Then in Welcome to the Chum Bucket, Plankton comes up with a new plan. He gets SpongeBob to work for him, thinking this is finally his chance to get someone to make a Krabby Patty for him. And just like Mr. Krabs, Plankton doesn't see SpongeBob as a person. He's just a tool, a worker to do his bidding for his obsession. SpongeBob has almost no choice, and Plankton expects him to work endlessly to help him succeed. When his plan doesn't work, Plankton goes full mad scientist and tries to make a robot SpongeBob to replace him. It's absurd and over the top, but it's a perfect example of how systemic roadblocks push someone to treat workers like disposable tools instead of people. By the end, Mr. Krabs slaps an out-of-business sign on the Chum Bucket, and Plankton has no choice but to give SpongeBob back. But here's the thing. The Krusty Krab isn't actually better or more deserving. It's just that everyone believes it is. People flock there because it's seen as the established place, giving Mr. Krabs the illusion of higher status and making it seem like he deserves to win. That illusion protects him and keeps Plankton trapped, while workers like SpongeBob get caught in the middle, exploited by whoever controls them. It's a small, clever way the show shows how status and appearances can trap both workers and competitors in a system that's anything but fair. Then you have Chum Fricassee. This is the episode where Squidward finally hits his breaking point. He's done with Mr. Krabs, quits the Krusty Krab for good, and in a moment of desperation, teams up with his only other option, Plankton. And for the first time ever, the Chum Bucket isn't a pathetic joke. Squidward's class and reputation actually transformed the place into a legitimate business. Customers are lining up out the door. People are loving the food, and you can see it in Plankton's single eye, a flicker of genuine hope. This is the dream he's been chasing his entire life. But here's the twist that makes it all so tragic. When Squidward's grandmother shows up and complains the meat is undercooked, it reveals something huge. It wasn't even Plankton's fault. He was the one who wanted to wait, to make sure the food was perfect. It was Squidward, impatient and cutting corners, who demanded they serve it now. In that moment, Plankton isn't the cutthroat capitalist. He's the one who actually cares about the quality of his service. He has pride in his product. He wanted to do it right. But he got overruled by the very system he was trying to copy, a system that prioritizes speed and profit over quality and integrity. And that one compromise, that one moment of not sticking to his guns, is what destroys his one shot at success. And the truly tragic part of Plankton's story is that he looks at the system that crushes him every single day and decides the only way to win is to become a cheaper, weaker version of Mr. Krabs. He sees that Krabs succeeds through greed, through exploitation, through treating his workers like property, and he thinks that's the secret. I just need to be more of a monster. So he tries. He tries to implement every single unethical, exploitative tactic he's learned from his rival. He doesn't just want the Krabby Patty formula. He wants to replicate the entire oppressive structure of the Krusty Krab. He tries to cut every corner to prioritize profit over every human connection, but he always fails. And he fails because he's missing the one thing Krabs has, a monopoly. Krabs already owns the market, the reputation, and the town's loyalty. He can afford to be a miser because he's already won. Plankton, starting from zero, can't just copy the end result. He has to copy the path, a path that is built on a foundation of exploitation that the system now protects. What Plankton never realizes is that his real power wasn't in becoming a second Mr. Krabs. His real power was in his position as the ultimate outsider. He could have been an example. He could have built something completely different. Instead of a Chum Bucket that serves gray, miserable slop, he could have used his genius to create a worker cooperative, a restaurant, where he, SpongeBob, and even Squidward had a real stake. He could have attracted people not by copying a secret formula, but by offering a fairer, more ethical alternative to Krabs' greed. He could have been a symbol for change, but he was so blinded by the rules of the game that he never thought to break them in a way that actually helped anyone, including himself. He tries to beat the capitalist at his own game, and he loses every time, never understanding that the only way to win is to stop playing and build a new game entirely. If you want more of these videos, make sure to like and follow. Thank you for watching.